Hello and welcome. My name is Erica, and today I'm going to be guiding through a gentle yoga practice. For this practice, I invite you to gather anything that helps your space feel more cozy, more comfortable. I'm practicing on a couple of folded over blankets today, just to create some softness. I have a little pillow handy, pillow or a meditation cushion if you have one. Might want it to sit on during the seated postures, totally optional. I also have a block handy. We'll be using the block just for like one thing in the practice. If you don't have a block, no worries. If you have a roll of paper towels, that would work really well. Or another pillow. Actually, this small pillow folded over would work well. Or you can also just stack your fists when we get to that part. So yeah, it's really just intended to bring the floor a little closer to your face. I would recommend something that is not hard. A bolster or a couple of pillows we'll use at the end to go into a restorative posture. So we'll just be folding over the bolster or pillows. So again, if you don't have that handy or for some reason it's not comfortable for you to fold forward like that, I give an alternative option to do on your back. Speaking of back, let's go ahead and get started on our back. So I'll invite you to come to laying down on your back with the feet planted on the floor. And it's taking a moment to kind of arrive here. Might shift your weight around a little bit, adjust your hips, adjust your shoulders, maybe walking the shoulder blades down and back, creating some surface area on the back. And then I'll invite you to heel toe your feet out towards the edges of your blanket, or if you're just practicing on the floor, just a little bit wider than your hips. And allow your knees to come in towards one another so they rest against one another, finding constructive rest here. And I'll invite you to place one hand on your abdomen, and the other hand like your ribs or heart center, chest, and where your arms sit comfortably on your torso. And then I'll invite you to take your gaze to the ceiling softly. And if it feels good for you to close down your eyes, I'll invite you to close down your eyes. Or you can just keep your eyes open with the gaze soft. We'll just take a few moments here to settle into present moment awareness. So dropping into our practice, maybe taking a moment to acknowledge whatever you have done thus far today, and acknowledge that after this practice is over, there will be more things to do. But for the next bit of time, we can be here and now in our bodies with our breath in this moment. So I'll invite you to bring your awareness to points of contact with the earth, maybe feeling into the soles of your feet, maybe noticing the texture of whatever your feet are resting on. So if you're wearing socks, maybe noticing the feel of the fabric of the socks on your feet. If your feet are bare, perhaps noticing whatever is beneath the feet. Noticing the texture, noticing the temperature. Does the floor feel cool or warm or just neutral? Noticing the solidity, the grossness of the surface beneath your feet. And then perhaps noticing the sensation of your knees gently resting against one another. It's the gentle pressure of each relaxed leg, supporting one another with really minimal muscular effort. And then noticing the back of your hips, your sacrum against the earth, perhaps just noticing the weight of your relaxed pelvis and hips, supported by the earth. Moving up the spine, perhaps noticing your low back, your lumbar spine. Is it against the floor? Or is there a little bit of space there? Just feeling into that. Whether there's the solidness of the floor right against your back, or a little bit of spaciousness, a little space for air. And then moving up into the mid-back, feeling into the backs of the ribs, the back of the heart space between the shoulder blades, feeling into the shoulder blades themselves. And coming to the neck again, noticing here in their cervical spine, there's probably some spaciousness. So perhaps contrasting the sensation of that space on the back of your neck with the sensation of the denseness of the floor against your shoulders and against the back of your head. And then bringing your awareness back down to the backs of your shoulders, backs of your arms. I invite you to bring your awareness around to your forearms and into your hands. And perhaps first noticing from the perspective of your hands, your body against your hands. So here again, you might notice the texture of fabric of whatever shirt you're wearing. Perhaps noticing the temperature difference. Does your body feel warm to the touch, or cool, or does it feel the same as your hands? And again, maybe noticing the firmness, the solidness, the firmness and the softness, I suppose, the solidness of your body against the palms of your hands. And then bringing your awareness around to the tops of your hands, the backs of your hands, noticing the space. And you might notice if that has any quality to it as far as temperature. Does the air feel cool or warm against the backs of your hands? Is there notable moisture or lack thereof in the air? Just noticing. And then I'll invite you to switch your perspective for just a moment. So being in the hands and feeling the body, can you move into being in your body, feeling your hands? So feeling your hands resting against your torso, your abdomen. Gentle weight of the relaxed hand resting. Here again, you might notice if your hands feel warm or cool against your body. And then I'll invite you to bring your awareness to your breath. So, not trying to manipulate the breath in any way at this point, just kind of checking in and seeing what the breath is doing. Maybe noticing where in your body you most readily feel your breath, your inhale and your exhale. And for some of us, that's going to be up in the nose or might be in the throat. Having the hands resting on the body, sometimes it becomes more noticeable in the chest or the ribs or the abdomen. Just noticing, does one of your hands move as you breathe? Do both of your hands move as you breathe? Maybe neither. And I'll invite you to notice some qualities of your breath. So perhaps noticing if your inhales and your exhales feel like they're of similar length, or if one feels substantially longer than the other. Does your inhale feel like it's full and nourishing? And does your exhale feel like it's complete? Or does it feel like one or the other or both are being cut short? Do your inhales and exhales feel smooth and steady? Or is there anywhere along the way that it feels like they hit a rough patch or catch anywhere? Again, just noticing here, not trying to judge or get lost in the story of why the breath is the way it is, just noticing what is. And then we can begin to invite perhaps a little bit of a longer, perhaps deeper breath into our bodies. And I'll invite you to do this by first watching your exhale. So on your next exhale, breathing all the way out to the end. Let the exhale be complete. Might be longer than you expect. And then feeling the inhale spill in and down. Filling your body, gentle expansion. And then again, when you're ready for an exhale, watching the exhale all the way to the end. Perhaps you feel your chest and your stomach fall. And then the inhale rolls in and down, filling your body, fresh oxygen, fresh prana, gentle expansion. And when that's full, we can watch the exhale again roll all the way to the end. Breath moving up and out, taking what your body no longer needs. So I'll invite you to watch your breath a couple more rounds in this manner. Letting the exhales be complete. Feeling the inhales spill in and down. Feeling gentle expansion in your body. Maybe you feel your hands rise. You feel the inhales into the back sides of your ribs, sides of the chest. Exhaling completely. No rush, nowhere to be. Just here, watching your breath roll in and wash back out. As you're ready, I'll invite you to place one hand over your heart center and then place the other hand on top of that. And just take a moment here to set any intention that might come for you for practice today. And it might be that nothing comes to mind, and that's totally okay. The practice itself can be the intention. And when you're ready, I'll invite you to release your hands, fluttering open your eyes. If they've been closed, let's reach the arms up overhead. Interlace the fingers, stretch both legs out. Early morning stretch style. Might elicit a yawn, a little wiggle side to side, pressing through the heels. And then bringing the hands back down. Let's rebend the knees, planting the feet on the floor. And let's go ahead and take the right foot off the floor, interlacing the hands behind the right thigh. And let's begin to bring the right foot up towards the ceiling, any amount. The leg does not need to be straight. Now let's just start by getting into our toes. Just waking up the toes, saying hello with a little wiggle here. Spreading the toes wide, making a little toe fists. Spreading wide, making a little toe fist. Maybe noticing the bones of the foot moving as you do this. Maybe you start to feel into the bottom of your foot, the connective tissue there, plantar fascia. Maybe you notice that the toes will move independently of one another, if they move as little toe units. just taking some observation, and then a little bit of circling with the foot. We're getting into the ankle joint here. Taking the foot in circles in one direction. Might notice some little snap crackle pops. Maybe not. And back in the other direction. And coming to pause and center, let's point the toes away, stretching into the top of the foot, front of the ankle. Let's draw the toes back towards the face and press through the heel, stretching into the Achilles, feeling the back of the calf. And pointing the toes away and back towards the face. Toes away and back towards the face. A couple of times like that. And then maybe a little side to side. Maybe you sickle the ankle in and then out. The in and the out. And then maybe just another little circle there. We'll shake it out. All right. So from here, let's move into our knee. So with an inhale, I invite you to press your foot towards the ceiling, really feeling your leg engaged, turning on, feeling that muscular effort. Inhaling here, and as you exhale, just release that and let the foot go. Let the foot just swing down. So the foot's not coming crashing down onto the earth, right? We can hold the leg high enough that the foot comes down and just kind of bounces. And then with the inhale, bring the foot back up towards the ceiling again, feeling that muscular effort, that engagement of the legs. And with an exhale, just let it go. And if this doesn't feel good for you in your knee for any reason, we can inhale to bring it back up again. When you exhale and release, you can just slowly bring the knee down if it doesn't feel good for it to bounce. All right, let's do it a couple more times on this side. Inhaling to bring the foot up and exhaling to release. Inhaling to find length through the leg, pressing through the heel, and exhale to release. And then let's take the right hand to the top of the right knee. Left hand can come to the left hip. And your left leg might stay bent right now, or you might go ahead and start to straighten your left leg out. And if you are straightening your leg, a little gentle engagement of that leg, just so the foot's not kind of like flopping off to the side, just like you're gently standing on the wall underneath of your foot. And let's take some circles with the right knee. So taking circles with the right knee or taking circles in the right hip. So the hand is sort of there as a guidepost. And circles could be big or small. They could be super slow, a little bit faster. I don't need to be taking like a super fast circle. We're not like whisking anything here. Yeah. So circling around through the right, getting into the right hip, left hand staying on the left hip to sort of see if that left hip's trying to get in on the action. Can you just invite it to stay steady down on the earth? And one more time through, around. And when you bring the knee in towards the chest, let's give it a little squeeze. And then we'll go back the other direction. So you might notice right away that this direction, like, oh, this direction feels harder, or it feels weird. So it didn't say like a specific direction to go to start off. We are probably naturally going to be naturally inclined to, move the leg in whichever way the body feels like it habitually wants to. So yeah, just noticing a difference direction to direction. And again, that left hip might be trying to come up off the floor. Just hang out, just chill. And like once or twice around, more here. Maybe checking in with that left foot if it's just kind of flopped off. Can we bring a little bit of that engagement and awareness back to it? And then the next time we come in through the chest, let's give it a little squeeze. And then release the right leg down, straightening both legs out along the floor. I invite you to just take a moment here between sides and just notice difference perhaps between your right and left leg. Maybe your right foot, ankle, knee, thigh, hip. Maybe it feels a little warmer A little tingly perhaps. It's a little bit more alive than the left side. Maybe not. Just noticing. And then let's rebend both of the knees, and we'll come over to the left side. So taking your fingers and interlacing them behind the thigh again, bringing the foot up towards the ceiling. Oh, and this time I'll invite you to take the opposite interlace of your fingers, yeah? So the non-dominant clasp, kind of helping us to break little habitual patterns here. And yeah, left toes. What's going on with them? Give them a little wiggle. See what's up. Making little toe fists, spreading them wide. Getting into the bones and the muscles, and the connective tissue of the left foot. And then some circles with the left ankle. Going in one direction. And the other. And coming back through center, let's point the toes away, stretching into the top of the foot, the front of the shin, the ankle, and then we'll press the heel away, drawing the toes back towards the face. Pointing the toes away, and drawing them back towards the face. Pointing the toes away, and drawing them back towards the face. Just a couple of times like this. And if you wanted to link breath with movement, you might inhale as you point your toes away, and exhale as you draw them back towards the face. Or you might do one round of movement or one set of movement per half breath. Yeah, then a little sickling side to side here. Bring the foot in and out, a little back and forth. And then maybe another little circle, shake it out. All right, moving into the left knee, again, holding high enough up on your thigh that you can inhale, press the foot towards the ceiling, feeling your leg engage, and exhale, let it go. Let that foot just swing. Inhaling to draw it back up, feeling that effort, and exhaling to let it go, finding the ease. So moving with your breath here. Inhaling to extend, exhaling to release. Just do this maybe 3 more times on this side. Inhaling up, exhaling to let go. Inhaling, feeling that engagement, noticing that you might feel it up in your thigh, you might feel it in your hip. Exhaling back down. One last time, up we go. And with an exhale, let it go. Let's take the left hand to the top of the left knee, right hand to the top of the right hip or thigh, maybe keeping that leg bent if you'd like, or straightening it down on the floor. You're straightening, remember that gentle standing on the wall behind or underneath the foot. And here we go, circles with the left knee. So circles in the left knee and the left hip. Every time I do this, I always picture like a joystick controller. I think about my femur, thigh bone, as being like a joystick in that ball and socket joint of my hip. It'd be a nice little visual for some people. You might notice that your right hip is really trying to come up and join in this movement party. Can you invite it to stay stable on the floor? Maybe that means taking slightly smaller circles with the left side. And around. And the next time we come through center, let's give that knee a little squeeze, give that leg a squeeze in. And then we'll go back in the other direction. So again, I invite you to notice if this side feels more or less kind of natural to go in this direction. It feels like it takes more or less effort. And again, checking in with your breath, either linking it with a movement. Maybe you just take one breath per revolution. one revolution per inhale, one per exhale. It's finding something that works in your body, just so that we're inviting steady, even breath with the movement. All right, and then let's give that leg a little squeeze in and stretch it on down. Both legs stretched out on the mat. And again, I'll invite you to take a moment to just notice sensations, maybe feeling a little tingling in the feet. Maybe the legs feel a little warmer, like kind of more awake than they did a little bit ago. And then let's take the right foot and take it out to the outer edge of the outer bottom right corner of your mat if you're using one, or, relatively where that would be if you're not. And then I'll invite you to cross your left ankle across your right ankle. And then taking your left wrist into your right hand, let's reach up and over to the right with the feet and the hands, keeping the hips and the ribs moving towards the left. Ooh, coming into kind of a crescent moon or banana asana, as it's sometimes called. And there might be a tendency to kind of roll onto the right side. I'll invite you to invite that left shoulder, the left waist, the left hip to move back towards the earth. So just get a really nice stretch through the left side. It might mean that you back out of the crescent shape a little bit, and that's okay. Checking in to see if maybe that left shoulder and the left ear are jamming each other up. Can you grow them away from one another? A little space. And then noticing your breath once again. Inhaling into the left ribs, filling the left lung, maybe feeling a stretch in through the left waist and the left hip, all the way down into the left little toes, all the way back up through the ribs, the armpit, the arm, and out into the left fingers. Whole left line of the body. And then with an exhale, let's release back to center. Let's uncross the left leg. Take it to the bottom left corner of your mat or thereabouts roughly. And let's cross the right ankle over. We'll come over to the other side. So taking the right wrist into the left hand and crescenting over to the left with your feet and arms. And keeping that right hip moving towards the right. Again, noticing if you're kind of rolling onto the left side, to bring it back down. Right shoulder, right hip staying more or less on the floor. Breathing into the right side body. You're feeling this in your ribs, your waist, the side of your chest, your armpit, shoulder, elbow out into the right hand, right fingertips. And following that line all the way back down, maybe feeling the stretch into the right hip, the right thigh, the outside of the right shin, right ankle, right little toe. Softening the shoulder and the ear away from one another. Let's have another couple breaths here. And with an exhale, releasing back to center, uncrossing your legs. Let's bring the feet back up to our knees. Let's bend the knees again, bring the feet back to the floor. And let's go ahead and just go and roll over onto one side and come on up to seated. So if a cross-legged seat is available to you, I invite you to take a cross-legged seat. If it's not, find a seat that is. This might be a great time for you to use your little pillow to sit up onto, just to give the hips a little bit of elevation. Which I'm going to use the pillow today. Why not? Be a little more gentle with myself. All right, so from here, let's take a moment to acknowledge being upright here. We can feel our legs or our feet touching into the earth. We can feel our sit bones rooting down into the earth or onto whatever we're sitting on. We might even take the hands to the flesh of the thighs and turn them down and out and back, just kind of creating a little more surface area to settle into. And from this firm foundation of the earth, I invite you to lift through the crown of your head, thinking about if you could lift through the roof of your mouth, finding that gentle elongation of your spine, perhaps a little opening through the front of the body. The heart might lift just a little bit, softening the shoulders down, sitting up, feeling the balance of the spine stacking on itself. And as we're ready, let's take the arms, turn the palms up, sweep them up with an inhale. Maybe the gaze follows as the hands come to meet, and exhaling hands to heart center. Inhaling to sweep the arms around, open it up, taking up some space. Exhaling hands coming to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhaling to sweep them around. And exhaling hands to heart center. All right, let's go ahead and inhale and sweep them up one more time. And then this time as we exhale, I will mirror you here. Let's turn the right palm and float it down to the earth. Maybe walking the fingers out as we crescent over to the right, stretching into the left side body once again. Keeping that left hip grounded, reaching through the left fingers. Big breath here. And then walking the hand back in a little bit, inhaling both hands up. Exhaling hands to heart center, just gathering ourselves. Let's inhale and bring the arms up again. And we'll flip the left palm, bringing that down to the floor and beginning to crescent over to the left. Right hip rooting, right fingertips reaching. Maybe you notice that there's a tendency to sort of curve in here. Can you think about turning your heart towards the sky? Again, making space between your shoulder and your ear. Nice big breath. And then with an inhale, we'll come back up, raising the arms, lifting the gaze, exhaling hands to heart center. Let's inhale and bring the arms up. And this time as we exhale, let's turn and twist to the right. Left hand coming towards the right knee, right hand coming behind. Inhaling, finding length through the spine. And exhaling to stay. And then lifting the arms with an inhale, moving back through center. And as we exhale, we'll just twist the other way now. So bringing the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, growing long through your spine. Feeling your sit bones root, your tailbone going one way, the crown of your head going the other. Exhaling to stay, and then inhaling to bring both arms back up through center. And exhale, let's twist to the right. Inhaling, floating the arms back up through center. Exhaling, twisting to the left, arms floating down. Maybe the gaze is coming back over the right shoulder, or the left shoulder, maybe not. Inhaling back through center. Exhaling to the right. Again, maybe the gaze comes over the right shoulder here, maybe not. Inhaling through center. And exhaling to the left. Let's inhale back through center. And exhale, bring the palms to touch at heart center. A moment here. And then let's inhale, bring the arms up once more. And exhale, let's bring the right arm down to the left arm down to the right knee. And with the right arm, let's reach over and crescent towards the left. So now we're getting a little bit of a side stretch into the back of the line of the body here, as well as a little bit of a twist. And then inhaling back up. Bring both arms up. Let's switch sides. Bringing the right hand to the left knee. And then reaching with the left hand across towards the right. Breathing into the back left side of the body. And inhaling back up. Bring both arms towards the sky. And exhaling, hands to heart center. All right, I'll invite you to take both of your hands to your knees. And just take a moment here to kind of gently, not really gripping, but gently holding onto your knees. Let's inhale and lift the heart. And exhale. It's kind of a little bit of an opposite motion of that. Tilting the pelvis forward or tilting the tailbone forward rather, and just kind of curving the spine back, stretching into the back of the heart space. And then back up to center. And let's take the arms and bring them straight out in front and bending them 90 degrees. Then let's go ahead and cross the right elbow over top of the left. So the backs of the palms will come together here. Maybe you're able to reach around and take the little bind here. Maybe you're like, my arms don't even go like this. That's totally okay. You can stack them like this, or you can stack them and kind of hold onto opposite shoulders. So finding whatever works for you. And wherever you are with the arms, let's bring the elbows to be about level with the shoulders. And if you have the hands like this, bring the hands away from the face. And as we inhale, let's find that same movement, lifting through the heart, tilting the tailbone back, finding a gentle back bend here as we inhale, and as we exhale, taking the opposite motion. So tucking the tailbone, finding a C curve, navel drawing towards spine, bring the elbows down towards the belly, maybe the head, chin tucks. And then back up again, inhaling to lift, finding some openness through the front body. And exhaling to draw it in. Inhaling to lift. And exhaling to draw it in. Inhaling to lift one more time. And as we find expansion here, I'll invite you to release the clasp of your arms, open the arms out wide. And then gently with an exhale, turning the palms face down, floating the arms back down. Seeing if you can match the length of your exhale with the length of your movement. Maybe a couple rolls of the shoulders. And then let's switch the cross of the legs. So bringing the other leg out in front. It might feel real wonky. When I first started doing this, I was like, ooh, my body does not want to make this shape. So again, finding ways for us to bring some symmetry and balance into our bodies, which we do not generally use symmetrically. Okay, arms. Bringing your arms up, palms facing one another, bend them 90 degrees. Take the opposite elbow on top from last time. Taking whatever arm variation works for you. You take like the eagle arms here, the Garudasana, or you can have them stacked or holding onto the shoulders. Wherever you are, taking a moment to feel into your sit bones. And then with an inhale, we'll lift, tilting the pelvis forward, tilting the tailbone back, lifting the elbows, lifting the gaze, and then exhaling to draw it all back in. Moving with your breath, inhaling, making sure that the hands aren't right up in the face, elbows are at shoulder height or above, reaching, and exhaling to curl it in. Then inhale, we find expansion. And with the exhale, find some contraction. But even within the contraction, there's some expansion, maybe into the back of the heart space between the shoulder blades there. You might feel a stretch. And let's do this twice more. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling to bring it up. Exhaling back down. And one more time to inhale up, and then bringing the arms out into a Y or a V. And exhaling slowly floating the arms back down. I'd like to take another couple little shoulder rolls there. Maybe moving the neck a little side to side. And then let's go ahead and let's take a couple of little neck rolls. So Just letting your arms kind of rest on your lap or by your side. Find some alignment of the spine again. Feeling the sit bones root, reaching through the crown of the head. And then take the left ear towards the left shoulder, and then roll it on down, chin towards chest, and on over to the other side, right ear towards right shoulder. And then back through center. So just making these little U shapes here. I'll invite you to release your jaw, so part your teeth, and just soften, maybe softening your tongue. Feeling this stretch move through the sides of your neck into your inner ear, perhaps. If it feels good for you in your body to make a complete circle around the back, I'll invite you to do that, going in one direction and then slowly in the other. That's not good in many people's necks, so just checking in with your body. It doesn't feel real good in mine, so let's do the little U's. And then the next time we're even on both sides, let's bring the head down, the chin down towards the chest again, just pausing here. Maybe feeling the stretch all the way down the back of the neck. Can you feel it maybe along your spine and into the mid-back? Maybe you can follow it further down. And then gently bringing your head back up. And let's come around to all fours. So we'll come on to all fours. This is where a block is, well, soon is where a block will be handy, although you don't need it if you don't have it. It's totally okay. So coming onto all fours, just taking a moment to set up here, spreading your fingertips wide, or spreading your fingers wide rather, kind of like you were palming a basketball on the earth. Setting up so your hips are more or less over your knees. This is another opportunity to pad your knees for sure, if that is good for your body. And then I'll invite you to just look at the creases of your wrists. So they should be like parallel to the front of where your mat would be. And then I'll invite you to turn your inner elbow creases forward. So by doing that, you get a little bit of external rotation into the upper arm and shoulder and a little bit more opening across the chest. And from here, we'll take some cat-cow movement. So kind of similarly to what we were doing when we were sitting. With an inhale, let's tilt the pelvis forward, the tailbone up, allow the belly to hammock, and the heart center to kind of move towards through the upper arms. Gaze can come up. You don't really want to crank it back here so that you can't breathe, right? And keep the airway open. And then as you exhale, we'll go the opposite direction. So the tailbone tucks, the pelvis tips back. Finding that C curve of the spine, navel drawing towards the spine, reaching into the back of the heart space. Maybe your chin comes down to tuck. And then back on through with the inhale. Moving with your breath. Cow. And exhaling into cat. Let's invite you to make this movement really slow and deliberate. Maybe feeling each vertebra articulating. And then if any intuitive movement comes, maybe you want to do a little side to side, a little sway of the hips and the arms. And at times I'll close my eyes during this part of the practice and just sort of feel into what way does your body want to move. And then from here, when you feel like you're in a good place, we'll take the block and slide it in here on its lowest setting probably. And let's sit back into child's pose. So taking the toes together, the knees can be slightly apart, but we're not trying to take like a wide-legged child's pose here. We'll come down and rest the forehead onto the block. So we do it this way. And the spine is kind of in one straight alignment. Maybe you bring your arms down by your sides. We'll rest here for a few breaths. So in child's pose for some reason, and you can take your knees as far apart as you need to make space for your body, right? If child's pose is not comfortable for you for whatever reason, you can just come around back onto your back again, just like we did at the beginning of class, and take constructive breaths, the knees wide and the feet wide and the knees together. So, breathing in child's pose or whatever variation we're doing. And I'll invite you to again notice where in your body you feel your breath. Maybe that's in your abdomen or your ribs or your chest. Maybe it's in the back side of your body. Can you feel your breath in the back of your hips or in your lumbar spine? Can you feel your breath in the back of your ribs, back of your heart space? Can you invite once again that steady, even breath? Full and complete exhale. Full and nourishing inhale. And then as you're ready, maybe bring the hands up alongside the head. Gently bring yourself back up to an upright position. And so we'll take a couple of restorative twists to kind of finish off the practice here. So from seated, we'll take this kneeling. We'll bring the bolster to the right hip. Bring the feet off a little bit to the side here. With an inhale, we can grow long through the spine, maybe reaching the arms up. And with an exhale, we can turn and look towards the bolster and start to lower ourselves down onto the bolster or pillow or whatever you're coming to rest on. And you might rest your right cheek on the bolster so you're facing forward towards your knees. Or you might turn and rest your head on the other side. That's going to really intensify this twist. So it just kind of depends on what your body is asking for. And again, if being folded over on something is not good for you, you can totally do this just on your back. So taking the knees a little bit further apart than sit bones distance, and then allowing them to come to one side. And then maybe resting your hands on your torso. And your head might turn to one side or the other. So we'll just stay in this position for about a minute more. Again, bringing awareness back to your breath. Maybe noticing where in your body your breath wants to move when you're in this shape. Can you soften through your belly? Soften through your ribs. And with an exhale, can you invite your hips to be heavy, your thighs, your knees? You invite your ribs and your chest, your shoulders and your arms to be heavy. And exhale, feeling your head resting heavily against whatever it's on. Just finding that softness. No need to work. Just lay it on the floor. I'll invite you to take your next inhale through your nose. And as you're ready to exhale, just sigh out your mouth. It might be audible, it might just be real breathy. And gently walking yourself back up. Or if you're on your back, coming back through center. I'll take this prop on over to the other side. We're straightening the legs out between sides for just a moment. And bringing the bolster right up against the hip, feet off to the side. Inhaling to reach your arms up, finding length. And as we exhale, let's twist and fold on over. Taking any adjustments that you need to make this feel like a really supportive and nourishing posture. And allowing yourself, inviting yourself to kind of melt. With an exhale, releasing the feet, softening through your knees. Exhaling, putting all the weight of your pelvis to be held by the earth. Softening through your belly and your ribs, getting heavy through your chest. Heavy through the shoulders. Your head be heavy, your arms, hands. Allowing your face to soften, parting your teeth slightly, softening your tongue, your jaw. You're going to really long. Opening your gaze or closing your eyes. Allowing the whole face to relax. Gently, just beginning to walk yourself up. Just becoming just enough. I'm gonna roll that bolster out of the way. Come on down to laying on your back on the floor. If you're already on your back on the floor, just bringing the knees back through center. And let's take one final little squeeze in of the legs here. So maybe bring the hands behind the thighs. A little rock side to side, kind of massaging out the low back. And then coming into your Shavasana. So whatever Shavasana looks like for you today, final resting pose. If you can allow yourself to be like 10% more comfortable, I invite you to do so. Maybe you want to use one of your props to put something under your knees. Maybe you want to put on another layer. Put a blanket over yourself. Blanket over the hips. It can be really nice and grounding. Or the bolster sitting there. Then finding your way into whatever shape your Shavasana looks like. And if laying on your back doesn't feel good for you, lay on your side. Allow yourself to be totally at ease. Your palms might roll to be face up, or you might feel like you want a little more grounding. You place your palms face down. Softening your gaze, closing down your eyes. Let's take another deep breath in through your nose, feeling your breath move in and down, full and expansive. And then exhaling, just sighing it all out. Letting that exhale be complete, feeling your body just melt. Release into the earth. Just be. resting in Shavasana as long as you'd like. You're in your space. When you are ready to begin to move out, I invite you to begin to invite a deeper breath back into your body. I invite you to turn your head to the right and pause. Turn your head to the left and pause. Moving back through center, maybe wiggling fingers and toes, any intuitive movement that wants to happen, rolling out wrists and ankles. Maybe arms reach overhead for another early morning stretch. And then bending the knees and rolling to one side. Using your arm as a pillow here, just taking a moment to rest. Feeling the side of your body against the earth. And as you're ready, gently making your way back up to a seated position. I invite you to keep your gaze soft or your eyes closed and bring your palms to touch in front of your heart center. Learning an Anjali Mudra, gesture of offering. And maybe pressing your thumbs gently into your sternum, lifting your sternum, your heart back into your thumbs. I invite you to take a moment to give thanks. Feeling some thanks for yourself for taking this time out of your day to move and breathe mindfully. Thanks for the able-bodied ability to move through these practices. And I extend my deepest thanks to you. It's always a pleasure and an honor and a privilege to lead through these practices. And I thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. You might bow your mind to your heart if that feels right for you. Releasing, returning to your space. Moving on with your day in your time. Thank you so much. Take care.